And now, from Stage 21 at Universal Studios at Universal Orlando Resort, it's total non-stop action wrestling Impact.
Hello, everyone.
That was a great transition. James is killing it right now.
I'm glad. I'm glad I found that one. I'm very glad I found that one. It's been, I don't know, 3 years since the last time we did a show. It's good to be back. Mike and I don't know if you guys know this, we have jobs and families and stuff, so it's hard to. Sometimes it just gets a little hectic. But we're here. We're ready to continue the journey. Our second and final year is beginning with TNA Impact. Both of us have big news, and you were teasing me before the show started that yours is real big, but we'll in time. We got to build, right? We got to tease it up a little bit. So when we left off, let's see. My last major pay-per-view would have been Turning Point in December. Now you have all the. You're not NWA anymore. You're all TNA championships, right?
I am. Yes, I'm all TNA championships, and I'd like to add, while we also have jobs, sometimes we're just playing Fallout and forget that we're going to record a show.
That happened tonight to me.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit it. It happened.
Bear with me. My wife just texted me. My son is asking if he can have daddy hugs. So I might have to run up there real quick, TJ, because you don't turn down daddy hug requests.
No.
When your kid's asleep.
And actually, what's fun is my wife just texted me and said that Jack's ready to be put in bed.
So are you going to go give him hugs?
So we picked a great time to start recording.
Well, roll the footage. We'll run real quick.
Roll what footage? There is no footage to roll. You go first.
Okay.
And then when you come back, I'll go. And I'll just sit here and talk to the no one that's watching.
I'm running right now.
Okay. Hey, you. No one. What's happening? How are you? Really just talking for the eventual release of this on Patreon. It's really what I'm doing. You got to make filler sometimes. You got to just go on the fly. Things happen. You just got to run with it. You got to be ready. You got to be half-ass interesting. What a day. How was your day? I was at work today. It's a Saturday. Dumb. 12 hours. Who does that? Me. I do that. I did have to go in. For those of you who pay attention to our shenanigans here on this network, me, Timmy, and Dave went on the Jericho cruise. We just got back on Monday. So to not use a vacation day, I took Monday off and worked today. So I didn't have to take a vacation day. Actually, that's why I love working for a union. Go Union. I was on a 6-day cruise, took 2 vacation days. Because I worked Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the week before, and then left and then worked Tuesday through Saturday. 2 vacation days. Boom. My wife has some medical stuff at the end of the month, so I'm going to take a whole week off. But even in my head, I'm like, well, if I work Sunday, I don't have to use up 4 vacation days, because I'm going to have 3 vacation days that last the rest of the year, and I don't like that. I don't do that. I'm always the guy. I'm the guy. I will work every day, but don't expect to see me a lot during the holidays. I'm taking vacation. That's, what are you going to do? You got to do what you got to do. Santa Claus is coming to town. Turkeys. Whole 9 yards. I've literally been talking the entire time you've been gone. So, what are you drinking there?
Oh, man. I don't even know if I could tell you. Waiting for the sponsor us before no, I'm kidding. It's a Dr. Pepper and cream soda, 0 sugar.
Wow. That sounds delicious. I've got a Diet Pepsi here.
They are absolutely delicious. I drink Way too many of them.
Absolutely. Me too. I'm going to go put Jack to bed, and then we'll officially start the show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I haven't been by myself on one of these since like a chat pack where Carl just disappeared. Speaking of Carl, if anybody's heard or seen him, like let us know. Last I saw, he was on the back of a milk carton. But yeah. So, anyways, wait till DJ gets back. I tell him so much about the save. Whew. Hope all of you that are watching and listening are enjoying running your own TEW. Ooh. Also, Lou Malnati is delicious, for those of you that don't know. Anywho, yeah, one of these days, TJ will get back. Probably. Maybe. I hear the floor creaking at his house. That's his big old butt. You guys know. You get it. Oh, where could my TJ be? The Lord took him away from me. If you're watching, leave us a comment. Let us know so we know who's watching along with us. If you're not shy. If you're on the Jericho cruise with TJ and maybe he doesn't know it, well, let us know some of the creepy shit he did. And he's back. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Man, it's a sexy set. Oh, hey.
Hey. Ow.
I hope you're okay. I announced while you were gone that the last time I was alone by myself on a StreamYard was in a chat pack with Carl, and he just disappeared. And then I said, if anybody's seen or heard from Carl, let us know, because last time I saw him, he was in the back of a milk carton. So yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Actually, I could look. I've texted that man a number of times. Just think, hey man, hope you're okay. Like
I've texted him a handful.
Does he ever reply?
No.
Last time he replied to me was June 4th.
You know this because I consider you a friend.
Oh boy.
Long time close personal friend.
I mean, when
I haven't
shave his asshole, you kind of become that.
I mean, manscaping, you know?
Yeah.
I was gonna post this on Twitter, but I didn't because my fear is like I'm gonna post something like this, and then someone's gonna say something mean about my son. And I'm gonna have to kill them. But Jack, as you guys know, is my son. He broke his wrist in two places. Oh no, I'm sorry. He broke the two bones in his wrist on Wednesday, and he got his real cast yesterday. And again, if you don't know, he's 6 years old and autistic. And I was horrified of how this casting was going to go. And granted, we're only 2 days in, but he is fucking crushing it right now.
That's awesome.
I'm so proud of that guy. Maybe I'll post a picture on Twitter eventually. Just don't say mean stuff about my son, because I will find you and murder you. Just so we're clear.
I believe that.
Yes. So let's talk. Where should we start? It's been so long. Let's start with champions. No. Scrap. Let's do your storylines that you've gone out of your way to craft, and where are they, like when you started and where are they now?
Yeah, so I have technically three, well, technically four, but really three storylines. Two have been going for a decent amount of time. Let's start with the fourth one that's actually not even active anymore because this kind of spins into something else. I started a storyline in December. And keep in mind now, TJ, I'm a few months ahead of you.
Yes,
so where are you at again?
January.
So you're in January. So I will tell you up till January. How's that? I'll make sure I filter my things. So in December, I started a feud between Jarrett and Hogan. That was going to be a feud.
Oh, that's right. You can sign Hogan because you're not Vince Russo.
That's it. Well, yeah, that's part of it probably. Now, granted, Macho Man has walked out on me, as has Roddy Piper. So
I haven't had anyone walk out on me.
Yeah, they both just said they were leaving. They were on handshake deal, so it is what it was. It was what it was. So I put Jarrett and Hogan into a feud, and Hogan was already kind of annoyed because I hadn't put him over for the title or anything. I had him do the.
Is that what it said?
Well,
I hope
kind
that's
of.
what it said.
Kind
I should
of.
be champion by now.
It was no. The problem was Hogan. I put Hogan and Les. I signed Hogan. I now did my whole angle with him at one of the events, and the whole plan was, and obviously I give way more detail into what was in my mindset than what you can put in the game.
Right.
So just know, obviously, right. But when I was leaving the weekly pay-per-views and finally going to weekly television and a monthly pay-per-view, announced Hogan he was going to be at the first Impact, and he was going to take on Brock for the title. I'm thinking that's how they'd probably do something like that in real life. Cool, whatever. And as soon as Brock was booked to beat him, Hulk Hogan is furious at this decision. I don't care. You're losing. Whatever. And I also had Hogan on. He was on a handshake deal as well per show. So I wasn't paying him because he wanted $140,000 a month. And I was like, nah, I'm going to pay you $15,000 a show and call it a day.
Whoa.
And only book you on 1 or 2 shows a month. I'm just really out of focus. There we go. So anyways, December 2004, Jarrett and Hogan. Jarrett's been dropping in popularity because obviously I have Brock, I have all these other people. So I'm going to put him with Hogan, and I'm going to let Hogan do the job to Jarrett to build Jarrett back up a little bit, and then I'll dump Hogan because Hogan also is, for those that don't know, a backstage nightmare. Nobody likes him. It brings morale down. We made it 2 matches, and Hogan walked out. Now, granted, Hogan didn't do the job to Jarrett yet. The last match he was in was actually in a 3-way with Jarrett and Lesnar for the title at an event, and Lesnar pinned Jarrett, but Hogan still walked out after the event. So Jarrett's currently storyline less, or storyline partner less, because he's the only one in that storyline. The other ones I have going December, I also started I called it X Division Madness. You'll find out I love the word madness and everything. And that is a storyline that's AJ Styles, Bryan Danielson, Christopher Daniels, CM Punk, and Jeff Hardy all around the X Division title. Punk is at this time, he is the X Division champ. That's got a heat rating of 63. It's considered hot. The next one is one that's been going on. You want me to stop?
No, it's just hot.
Another one that I have, there's no heat rating on this, but the segments always get, the lowest I see is a 75. They're always in the mid 90s or so. And this is called Management Madness. We talked about this last time.
We did.
And it's Bret Hart, Dusty Rhodes, Ted DiBiase Sr. They're all managing people. And it's just them kind of just, it's not even always their people they're managing fighting each other. It's a lot of times just segments of interviews, them going back and forth, and it's done well. And then obviously the other one that I've had since October of 2004 was when Brock came in. It's just called Brock Dominates, and he's just dominating the main event scene right now. That's all he is doing.
See, the one question I have about the Hogan thing, isn't Hogan and Brock the same popularity level?
So I think they would be. But since Brock has come over to TNA, his popularity is going down because, and this is my fault,
Exposure.
Right? Exposure. I wasn't on weekly pay-per-views. We'll get to Exposure in a minute because I'll tell you something I did. But what's your storylines? Tell me what yours.
So I've got let's see, 9. I've got 9 stories going right now.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Pretty much, if I give a shit about you, you're in a story.
I like it
because I found this out playing 90 game saves by now, and I'm embarrassed to even say, I just found this out recently, that if you put someone in a story and the story starts getting over, they get over faster.
Yes.
And I didn't know that. So one of my stories, I just started this cannot be right, because it says I started it in July of 2004. There's some stories I will just, because all my stories I just name after who's in it. I don't name it something specific.
Yeah.
So like the storyline I'm looking at is Sting and Kingston. So it's Sting and Eddie Kingston. I also threw in the Miz.
Okay.
'Cause I believe the Miz is he managing? I think he's escorting Eddie Kingston in the ring. I don't know. I mean, he's wrestling too, but
Okay.
he has excellent mic skills, but he's not over, so no one gives a shit about him. So I'm just trying to speed the process up. But it says I started this in July 2004, so I'm guessing he was in a storyline with someone else, and I just took them out and then put Kingston in and renamed it. So the storyline with Sting and Kingston right now is the 62.
Nice.
I've got CM Punk and DDP, because DDP is still active on my roster.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that is a 63. I have another story. It's America's Most Wanted against the Motor City Machine Guns. That's a 58. And they're pretty much, see, this is something I always do poorly at. I need to do better. They're pretty much the only two teams I have competing for the tag. Like, they're the only two legit tag teams that compete. They'll throw teams together, but I mean, that's really it. I just started a storyline that I had really high hopes on, trying to get another guy over between Harry Smith and Jerry Lynn. But as time goes on, they never make TV. So this storyline has not even started. And it's been going for 3 months now.
Hey, real quick, and I guess this answers my question. You know, because I think you tend to use the auto booker, as do I, that you go into the road agent notes and you can say advance the storyline.
Yes.
So okay.
Yeah.
Because the auto booker won't do that for you.
No, these two legit don't ever make TV.
Okay. Well, that makes sense considering who they are.
I mean, Harry Smith is not over, and Jerry Lynn's been plummeting. I used him to get people over when I first started the program, the save. So they might make Explosion. I know Jerry Lynn does. Harry Smith, I was booking against enhancement talent for a long time, and it didn't matter. Because, again, even though he's winning, the matches blow, so nobody cares.
And it's an enhancement talent, so he's not facing people with high popularity, right?
Right. And then I've got I've just got it listed as Jarrett versus the 3 Live Crew. But what it is, it's Team Jarrett against the 3 Live Crew. And the 3 Live Crew brings in my first surprise signing, and I've got 2. So the first surprise signing, so in on Team Jarrett, actually no, both of them are in this, excuse me. So on Team Jarrett, I've got Steve Carino from ECW. I've got Christopher Daniels. I've got Jarrett, and I've got Christian, who just came over as a heel. And then for my 3 Live Crew, I've got Brian James. I've got Ron Killings. And then my second signing is Kip James, a.k.a. Billy Gunn. So for those of you who paid attention to TNA back in the day, those two happened. Like they actually went to TNA in around this time. That's a 75. And this story has actually gotten the most heat the fastest lately because everyone in this story is excellent on the mic. And it's actually Steve Carino's getting over faster than I really thought he was going to.
Okay.
The next one is Jeff Hardy and Simon Diamond, for no other reason than I had nothing else for these two to do. That story's a 59. I just started this one and it hasn't, I haven't done anything with it. I literally just started again because I'm actually trying to get Sonny Siaki over for some reason. Because he like popularity, or not popularity, charisma, microphone, acting. He's got all the skills. His safety ratings through the roof, but he just never gets over for some reason. So I've got him a D'Lo Brown right now in the story, and it actually hasn't started yet.
Okay.
My world heavyweight title story: AJ Styles against Samoa Joe. That's a 77. And then Abyss and Dustin Rhodes, I've got, and that's a 52. And those are my 9 storylines.
Yeah, you have a lot more than I do. I struggle with putting some more storylines together, and I will put more in. Hey, I'm glad I just had 4 right now.
Well, as you do is what I try to do is I do these saves, because I just started one on a place that rhymes with twerk, and I just started one. It was I'm Vince McMahon running WWF in 1995 because it was the shits. So what I'm doing is I'm getting other, because there's 4 dudes that are crazy over there,
Sure.
but no one else is. So I'm building the roster up. I'm actually done. This is the best they've ever had by far. What I try to do is I'll have 2 or 3 stories of the big guys, heavy popularity, and then I will start layering them. So I want to get this guy over. Like in my WWF say, I got Mike Awesome from a 15 in the United States. He's almost 60 now.
Nice.
And all I do is, I want Mike Awesome. I put him with Harley Race. And then I just have him start beating people that I don't give a shit if they get pissed and leave. Savio Vega. And just as they get to a level, all right, so there are 40. So let's put them in a story with a guy that's like 55. Because generally at that range, they won't get pissed if you tell them to put them over.
Right.
And then just slowly start building them up from there. So I always like to teeter-totter.
Mm-hmm.
But I also try to have the same amount of heels and faces that I'm trying to build up to. That way your roster's not lopsided. So I try to do that here too. We can't do this with you because you're a rat scallion and you already boomed ahead. But we can do my end of year awards that this game gives out, which I actually enjoy. So
I think I can still pull those up, can't I?
I don't know.
I think I can. I'm gonna look.
In this, my wrestler of again, I don't pick these. The game picks these. The wrestler of the year is Kurt Angle, which is not a huge shock. Company of the year, which go figure, WWE. Who would have thunk it? Team of the year is Ric Flair and Triple H. That one was kind of surprising. Match of the year, Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle beat Edge and Ken Shamrock at Armageddon. Show of the year was Bad Blood. What? Young wrestler of the year, Randy Orton, not a shock. Veteran wrestler, Kevin Nash. I'm pretty sure it's WWE. Female wrestler of the year, Trish Stratus. Most improved company. What? TNA is on there. Independent wrestler of the year is Ray Gonzalez. No idea who that is. Manager of the year, Ric Flair. Announcer of the year, Jim Ross. To the surprise of no one, it is the 11th time he's won this award. Color commentators, Jim Cornette. I'm pretty sure is over at OVW. And referee of the year is someone named Kiwai Wada. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And that's to quickly go over my finances for the last 3 months of the quarter. My October wasn't great. I only made $564,000 only. And you'll see why I say only in a minute. But I believe October is when I started. Yes, because we did October, talked about it after the show was over, and I immediately started a dojo because I didn't have one. So October is when I started the dojo. November, I did $1.2 million. And then December, I ended the year with $828,000 month. So my grand total as of right now is $7.7 million for TNA right now. So I ended the year strong.
You definitely did. I can't. I'm not seeing a place where I could see previous end of year awards. What I can tell you is I do remember the match of the year got my attention. It was match of the year was Undertaker versus Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if I can remember. Jim Ross was I remember that one. Jim Ross was definitely on there for announcer of the year. I think he won it for the 11th year in a row.
Always.
The other stuff that does pop out though that I can pull up that I just saw was WWE, who they inducted into the Hall of Fame at the end of the year.
Oh.
Which, if we're basing it on game time, They do it each, instead of doing it at the end of the year, I find that it's just randomly, they choose a month they do it. So like September of 04, Abdullah the Butcher. Let's see as I go through. August of 04, Carlos Colon. DDP went in September of 04. DDP, if you remember from the previous episode, WWE got into a bidding war with me on DDP.
Yes.
I let DDP walk. He signed with them 2 weeks in. He retired, or announced he was retiring. Greg the Hammer Valentine went in. Jake the Snake Roberts went in. Larry Zbyszko, Mae Young, Mil Mascaris, Roddy Piper, Sherry Martel.
A lot of the same names here in mine.
Iron Sheik.
So my 2004 inductees for the WWE Hall of Fame, Abdullah the Butcher. This one surprises me, and you didn't say this. Bam Bam Bigelow went in October of 04.
Was he ever working for you in TNA?
No.
That's why I have him in TNA.
Well, Bob Backlund. Let's see. Carlos Colon. Bruno went in 04. Don Morocco, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Jackie, Jim Duggan, Larry Zbyszko, Mae Young. Actually, I think I do have Larry Zbyszko, Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, Sherry Martel, and Iron Sheik went in 04.
Got it.
For some reason, I thought I had Zbyszko. Well, Piper's my color commentator. I'm looking at him right now.
Okay.
So that's kind of weird that he went in. So one thing we like to do is look at the champions of WWE.
Yep.
Just for fun. And right now, their world heavyweight champion, he beat Ric Flair for the title, is Rob Van Dam.
So, and I'm obviously looking at this history of the title because I can see the current one is history of the world heavyweight champion. January. Yep. This Booker T was the champ at this time, and he had beaten Randy Orton for the title.
Oh, in real life. Yeah. So what's fun is there's only 7 champions listed for the World Heavyweight Champion, and they are in order: Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Goldberg, Triple H, Rob Van Dam.
Oh, mine goes Shawn Michaels here.
Ric Flair,
Triple H,
Rob Van Dam second time.
Randy Orton, Booker T.
So World Tag Team. Mine is Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy.
The Dudleys.
That's not weird. Mine's weird.
But I kind of just gave it away because they just won the titles apparently, and I'm in March. So the people in January were Booker T and Matt Hardy.
What is going on? Cruiserweight champion for the 5th time is Tajiri.
Same.
Yep. Let's see. Heavyweight champion. I know it's not the same for you because it's Brock Lesnar in mine.
Kurt Angle.
Okay. Intercontinental. Mick Foley.
Same.
That's bizarre. Royal Rumble winner Shawn Michaels for the 3rd time.
But that was 2004, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Mine was also Shawn Michaels in 04. I will not tell you who won it in 05 because I already passed it.
Okay. The tag team titles are vacant.
Okay. For me in January, it was Hall and Nash.
Really?
They had beaten Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty.
That's weird because who had it before there was vacant was Scotty 2 Hotty and Shannon Moore.
That's very weird.
The U.S. champion, Bob Holly.
The Big Show.
And the women's champion is Lita. She beat Miss Jackie.
Trish Stratus beat Gail Kim.
So let's go through our championships now. And I wonder, I was thinking about this the other day for some reason, because I think about weird stuff like this. Okay, never mind. So my X Division champion, he just beat Jeff Hardy, is Christopher Daniels. And I've got that title up to 52 prestige. My tag team champions already making a splash, Jeff Jarrett and Christian. They beat Brian James and Ron Killings, who held the belt for 8 months and defended the title 4 times. My knockouts champion is Natalia. She has now held this belt for 213 days with 10 successful defenses. And then my world heavyweight champion is now Samoa Joe. He just beat AJ Styles last month.
Nice. I will start with my world champion because there should be no freaking surprise. Brock Lesnar.
Of course.
What prestige is your world title at?
71.
Okay, I'm at a 74, so close enough. The X division, happened in December, so I'm good. CM Punk, current prestige is a 58. He beat Shane McMahon for the title. Shane took the X Division title. So,
of course,
that was an auto booker thing. The auto booker had Jeff Hardy drop the belt to Shane, and I'm not always following who the champs are. So all of a sudden, I'm like, holy crap! Why the X Division title? Then I realized, so auto booker did that. Again, going back to my previous comment of having never or don't really follow my champs all that closely. I follow like the X Division now. I do, especially with my plans for Punk, and then the tag team title or the world title, obviously with Brock. I'm protecting that storyline. Realized I created these freaking titles back in August of 2004. As of January 1st, the tag titles were still vacant. I hadn't crowned a tag champion because I thought I had done a tournament for it, but I think there was something that went wonky back then or something. But yeah, as of January, there's still no tag team champions, but I have a tag team division. So
we were talking about this before we went on the air too. I have a tag team division that's weak. I need to work on that. I have 4 teams, and 3 of them have Brian James on them. I'm sorry, 2.
I have 12 teams.
So I've got Brian James and Ron Killings, Brian James and Kip James. I should have called them the James Gang. Why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
America's Most Wanted and the Motor City Machine Guns.
I don't have to go through all of them, but I have 3 Live Crew, which is James and Killings. Amazing Phenomena, which is AJ Styles and Amazing Red. America's Most Wanted, Diamond and Swinger. Disciples of the New Church, who I have not had them do jack. I still have this one was already built into it, but Gilberty and Young. Lynn and Amazing Red, Lynn and Styles. So we have some duplicates here for sure. I created this one. Overkill, which is Lance Storm and Jeremy Lin.
Like it.
Raven and Sandman. Red Shirt Security, which is one that you get when you start the save. And then the new franchise, which is Michael Shane and Shane Douglas, which was also part of it. So
one thing we don't normally go over, but I think we should, because we're a year in. So we're in the middle of title plans, storylines going on. I've had some really inconvenient injuries show up, and I forgot about it till I looked. And one of them we just talked about. I'm building up Eddie Kingston. I forgot. He tore his ACL. He's out for 6 months. That's why the Miz is in his story. That's why. He's representing Eddie Kingston in the story. He's out 6 months. Meng, who was really a glorified jobber, 3 months. He's out with the torn rotator cuff. Shane Douglas, torn Achilles, out for a year. And Amazing Red is still out. I'm not having surgery on him.
So you and I texted about this, 2 days ago?
Yes. That's another reason why I wanted to bring it up.
Yes. So this is where my news comes in from what I said at the beginning of the show.
Oh.
So yesterday, I built a brand new computer, transferred stuff over. You could probably see it, TJ, if you remember, right? Like this right here is new. Mm-hmm. It's a gaming monitor. I'm going to point it there, right? Then I have giant ass monitors here too that are not meant for gaming. And I set this thing up for just a full gaming rig. Excuse me.
Very nice. I am not editing that out.
I tasted that. That tasted. Yep, I had Illuminatis for dinner. So I installed TEW over here, right? I had to unlicense TEW from my laptop right here on the desk, transfer it over, pull the save over. Pops up and says, You can't pull a save over like that. Apparently, I did not know this. Have you done this, DJ? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like, I went to load it, and it said, uh, you cannot transfer a game save from another computer. Please try again, or something to that nature.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I go back to the laptop, log in, relicense TEW. Tells me the same fucking message, and it was on the laptop.
This one?
Yes. So hold on.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, let me tell you what happens. So I'm like, shit. So I do this because we've talked about how you can edit the in-game stuff, right?
Yes.
So what I've historically done is I have my computer set to where when I close TEW, it copies. It's a one singular file is your game save. I have it copy that and I put it in my OneDrive, so I always have a backup of it in case something goes awry. Okay, well I didn't have that backup because I wasn't online or whatever reason. The last backup I had was 3 months old, not this month, 3 months in the game.
Right.
So when I texted you earlier, I was like, "Where do you want me to be at?" It's because I was trying to get back caught up, right? So I really didn't lose that much, but I did lose what I had texted you about, which was it Simon Diamond? Is that who it was?
Yes,
I have to pull it back up. Simon Diamond broke his neck or whatever, was going to be out for a year, more than a year. In that same save. So it's funny. It's almost like if you're a Marvel fan and you kind of just, go to the alternate universes or whatever. That's what we're going to talk about for a split second. In that save, and now I'm in the future too. We were in January in that one, and Sting went down just for a month. He had you don't even remember what the injury was, but down for a month. Sting was down for a month. What else? Somebody else was out that was in the main event picture. I can't figure out who it was. And I was like, well, shit, what am I going to do now? I need somebody. So I had to pull the trigger and sign the Warrior on a handshake deal just to bring him in, just so I could, because I didn't have Hogan. Hogan, at that point was whatever. So I lost all that. Now I'm in this one. I don't have Warrior. Diamond didn't break his neck. And let's be honest, it's not like I was trying to save Simon Diamond or anything. But like it really sucks. So in this one, I've had I just saw it on mine. Oh, Matt Jackson. I have him in my development territory. He broke his leg. That's one that happened. On the main event roster, though, I had Brock sprain an ankle and was out for a couple weeks, but nothing. I think this is something you and I have different. Like, I don't have Kenny Death's turn on in mine.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, so I maybe that's something that's maybe a little bit different, but yeah.
So you just brought up developmental territories. You and I think you had a training program and no developmental. I was the other way. I had a developmental, no training program. I believe we both now have both.
Yes.
So my developmental, is this my United States Wrestling League? I think it is. So there's the one thing, the biggest pain in the ass about this game is when you decide, like, hey, I don't want to take over a company that already exists. I want to make my own. It is, I'm not original, so I always want to have like the AWA or World Class. Can't, because they're already in the database. So luckily, and this save is one of the few I've seen like this. This image package that comes with this game save actually has generic, not real wrestling logos, so you can at least have a template to make one. So I have the United States Wrestling League. I would never call a wrestling company that if I own one, but so I've got let's see here. Outside of the people that were already on the roster, like, I don't give two shits about Johnny Swinger, but Frankie Kazarian, Kevin Steen, I've got Terry Taylor there as a road agent, El Generico, Claudio, Bobby Roode, Sterling James Keenan, Drew Galloway, the Briscoe brothers, John Tenta, for some reason, won my title and still has it. I don't think he's ever defended it, which is annoying because you can't control that at all. Luke Gallows, Ray Gordy, Aaron Stevens, or as everyone might remember him, Damian Sandow, Carl Anderson, Kenny Omega, and Brody Lee. I have in my developmental And yes, my heavyweight champion is still Earthquake. He's held the belt for 221 days and never defended the title. I don't know how that's possible. I still don't have tag team champions in that. My TV champion is Shark Boy. And the one really aggravating thing, right? So when you make a developmental territory, you have to assign it an owner and a booker.
Yep.
But outside of that, there's nothing you can do. Like, hey, how about you have Earthquake defend the title and pull it off of him, for Christ's sake? No, he's just never going to defend the title. And I'm fairly certain I have them on weekly television with a pay-per-view every month on a network I created. Is that right? Am I remembering that right? Let me look. Child companies. I got Eric Gargiulo doing both. Maybe that's a mistake. My schedule. No, I just have a weekly show.
Same.
And I mean, they're getting 52s for their show rating, but like I don't know if Tension's just like, fuck it, I'm not wrestling anymore. I don't understand why I don't have a champion. Or I do, but he never defends the title.
So my developmental territory, and we've talked about this, I resurrected Windy City Professional Wrestling from my youth, an independent organization I used to go to a lot when I was a kid. My CEO of that is Joel Gertner.
Nice.
I have Eric Gargiulo also as my booker, so we have that in common. Weekly shows, I'm actually about to adjust it to where they're longer because I feel like they're just way too short. They're not getting. Let me look again. Modify this on how long does it say? An hour and a half. That's all they are. I'm going to probably increase them so I can get more. Like, I have a ton of talent. We'll talk through some of them here in a second. Did you know you can do broadcasting for your?
Yes.
Okay. I just found that out recently. So, yep, that's on me. But here's some of the people that are on my roster that you may have heard of before. Let's see. Beth Phoenix, Bobby Lashley, Brody Lee. Claudio Castagnoli. Dixie Carter is still in development.
Nice.
Don Morocco, who is my world champion in Windy City.
Whoa.
Thanks to you, TJ, because I had accidentally assigned him as CEO at once. You're like, wait, Don Morocco? I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, crap, bad idea. Didn't mean to do that.
Didn't want to do that.
So he's still on there as a worker, and he's the world champ there. So, yeah, that's great. Drew McIntyre, Eddie Kingston, El Generico, Evan Courageous, who's killing it there, Finn Balor, Harry Smith, Jay Briscoe, Jay Lethal, John Moxley. I have Okada.
Nice.
Mr. Kennedy. Kenny Omega. Kevin Owens. I don't mean to name everybody, but I literally have everybody that I could find in the game, right? Mike Bennett, The Miz, Mustafa Ali, Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, if I didn't already say that. Who's got the broken leg? Ryback.
Ugh.
Sheamus, Shad Gaspar, and JTG, which is funny because JTG is the neighbor hoodie.
The neighbor hoodie, yep.
And then Seth Rollins. So, yeah.
You know what's interesting is Ken Anderson was supposed to be like, this prodigy that was going to just shatter all his expectations. He is the shits. On every games that I've ever had, he is terrible. We have a run-in. Yeah. I don't really know why, but Dave's here for some reason.
Ryback for Windy City champion, bitches.
Feed me more.
So, Dave actually wants to learn how to play this game. I think that's why he's here.
Oh, well, welcome, David.
Yes.
Well, the problem is I have a MacBook.
How old's your MacBook?
A year.
Do you know if it has the Intel or the M1? Do you even know that?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
All right, I want you to go to the Apple in the top left corner and go to About This Mac, and then take a picture of the screen that pops up and send it to me.
Hold on, let me get off my phone, and I'll go down to my computer to get back on with you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
be naked,
be nude. Yes.
All right, I've got my thong on, but it's backwards right now. So
what?
The balls are hanging out. Be right back.
I like it.
I like it more.
While he's adjusting himself, we'll continue. So let's see. What have we done? We've done developmental. We've done business. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So no, you're fine. It's so the actually I got to do that back. I got to change that. I got to stop messing around while we're talking. It's like what I just set all of my developmental shows to 4-hour lengths. That sounds terrible.
Oh yeah, don't do that. You'll kill
Yeah,
everyone.
I didn't.
The crowd's like, Jesus, what are we doing here?
So my shows are not getting the ratings yours are. Mine are like the 40s maybe. The Miz is the secondary champion in that. And there is no tag champ in that one either. Apparently, we just don't care about tag teams at all. What's your like morale like? Do you have anybody that's upset with you?
With me or just upset in general?
Upset.
As being Vince Russo and having for one, hiring people not easy, but just being Vince Russo. My color commentator is Roddy Piper.
Mm-hmm.
And as we all know, in real life, they hated each other. Roddy Piper blames Vince Russo, or blamed Vince Russo for the death of Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's no bueno. So I've got Roddy Piper and Vince Russo don't like each other, which is legit. Chris Sabin and Eddie Kingston have some tension because that's who tore Eddie's ACL. And then AJ Styles and Kid Cash don't like each other. I don't remember why that is.
I'll look at that. So I have people who just have morale issues. The biggest one is Jarrett. He's been pissed at me since I took him away. I removed him as figurehead like the first month of the game, and he's been pissed at me ever since.
So my two biggest ones is Jarrett, and I think for the same reason. And then my other one is Randy Savage, and I forgot I had him.
Yeah.
Because he's retired now, so I'm not really sure why he's there.
All right, how do I play this game, you fools?
Well, no, just go to that top left, the Apple thing, and just go to About This Mac.
How do I play this game?
And then send me a picture of whatever pops up, and once we go off the air, maybe we can talk further about it. What's left to talk about, Tej?
Well, the other negative influences I have is Roddy Piper's mild. Jeff Jarrett's just a douche. Eddie Kingston's mild. Dustin Rhodes is mild, which kind of surprised me. D'Lo's mild. And then, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Everyone knows this person was a bad backstage influence. Lollipop is mildly negative influence in the life. I mean, of course.
So mildly negative influences. Here's who I got. I'm just gonna name names. And I gotta try to not name names of people that I haven't told you I've signed yet. So
there's
I'm ahead.
Yes.
Bobby Roode, Don Harris, Dustin Rhodes, Eric Watts, Disco Inferno, Harley Race, James Mitchell, Jeff Jarrett, Josh Barnett, Julio De Niro, Legend, Lex Luger, Perry Saturn, Raven, Ray Traylor, Rick Steiner, Scott Hudson, Scott Steiner, Sid Vicious, Slash, and the Sandman, all mildly negative.
Scott Hudson.
Scott Hudson's pretty pissed right now. I just realized I don't have him on an announced team, so.
Let's see. We need to go over broadcasting.
Okay.
Because that's my next big announcement. So when we started the game, I'm going to see. I want you to see this. I'm going to see if I can pull the right window up. Because for some reason my computer's stupid and I can't do that. When we started the game, I went in with ESPN, with my broadcaster, and I told you I immediately regretted it because as soon as the game started, I realized I was just like a production thing away from getting like ABC or CBS or NBC or Fox, one of the big ones, which is kind of surprising because they're almost impossible to get. In every other game save, you have to be like an institution before you can get any of the major broadcast networks. And I can't get the right screen. So let's see. So you can't see it. This is stupid. So my pay-per-view is all the same. I've got Cablevision with 5 months to go for my United States pay-per-view distribution. Izzy is my Mexico with 5 months ago. They're all small. Sasktel is Canada. They're all small. 6 months ago, and Omni, which does England, is very small. And then my list of broadcast deals is stupid. Like it's like 97 different ones because you
Japan and all those things.
You have to do you have to do local deals because in Japan, weirdly enough, no one gave a flying fuck about TNA in 2005 or probably still. So
Accurate.
you have to do a local broadcast deal with every territory in every country. And it's annoying. It takes an hour, but you got to do it, otherwise you won't grow. So my ESPN deal for Impact ends in 5 days.
Ooh.
Do you want to guess who my new broadcast partner is for both Impact and Explosion?
A&E.
No.
Free TV.
That would be great.
USA.
No.
PBS.
That actually is an option for those of you laughing.
It is.
That is a choice. But no, it's not PBS.
Who is it?
Playboy channel.
That is also an option, but it is not Playboy.
Oh.
NBC
Ooh.
has got me for Impact and Explosion now. Their coverage is very big. I got them. So for the rest of my games, they all have NBC because it's for a year. My minimum quality of show, though, is 71. So I better be on my game for the rest of the year. I get 50% of the revenue generated, which doesn't sound like a lot until you, like, I'm going to get a shitload of sponsorship money now because I'm on NBC. And there was something else. It's all very big, all the way through the United States, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. So, and I have my B show on there too. So my underneath guys that I'm trying to get over they'll still get over slowly, but they'll get over faster than I was when I was on. Actually, I'm not even sure Explosion was on NBC. No, it was on. I think it was on. What the hell was Explosion on? I don't even know. Oh, it was on syndication. Yeah. So what I have to do is, because my syndication deal also lasts the rest of the game, say for Explosion. So what I have to do is when the NBC deal starts, I have to negotiate my cancellation of syndication.
Yeah.
And we're off to the races. So I should see some pretty serious improvement in both popularity for the company and my stars. And it should also positively impact my merchandise, which I am now at level 6. But I still need to work on my marketing and getting people over a little bit more because Sting last month was my biggest merchandise salesman at $127,000. Second place was AJ Styles at $24,000. $24,000.
Oh,
so real quick, TJ, can you share your main screen again?
Yes.
I want to tell you that while I was trying to find something, just looking at your main screen gave it away, and it's a good thing. Now go back to on the left hand side, the 4 squares. Yep. Remember, I was like, how do I find previous yearly awards? What's on the right hand side under Halls of Fame?
Oh, annual awards.
So I found it, and they're all very similar. There was no changes there, with the exception of I didn't win Most Improved Company, which is horseshit. My merchandise sales right now, just so you know, I'm at level 5. Last month's merchandise sales by workers, Sting at $91,000. Then it was Brock at $54,000, Bret Hart at $24,000, and then so on from there. Hogan, when he was there, he was clearing 6 figures when he was there for merchandise.
For the 2 shows he was on?
Pretty much. He was here for a little more than that, but yeah. Because I think I'd have to look when Impact started. Or when I started Impact, I should say. So Impact started. What the hell does it tell me? It doesn't. Yeah, I'll find it somewhere. 17 weeks ago. Oh, so this started mid-December. So yeah, it was only a few shows. So broadcasters. I found a way to game the broadcasting thing, TJ, and now because you have bestowed upon me so many things like house shows and all this other stuff and developmental territories, I will bequeath, not bequeath. bequeath
I don't think that's
upon
how
you.
you say that.
If you start to notice you're rolling with your shows being in the 70s or 80s in terms of their ratings or higher, when my deals were coming up, I started just doing 1 month broadcasting deals.
Yes.
1 month, right? And I started doing that in November, December. Now I'm going to give a little bit of a way that's going into January, February, March. I have to, because we're talking about broadcasters. My events are on DirecTV. My TV shows, I still have Explosion on syndication. I'm leaving it there. But the WB is who's hosting Impact. But the WB is giving me 40% of revenue, and they're paying me $150,000 an episode that I put on there.
Nice.
So that's nice. DirecTV for the events is giving me $200,000 per episode. But similar to yours, I have to be hitting 71 or higher on DirecTV.
Wow. Actually, I just looked. I can get DirecTV, so I might have to fire.
You can go all the way to, I think, I started with Graveyard with them on a month, and then I went to the next one. I went to, you know what I mean? So you got to game it a little bit.
Yes.
So you can get there. But so now I'm going to, again, telling you where I'm at in March. I will just tell you this. At March, I have $13,500,000 in the bank. Last month made $4.3 million. So it's like, I'm going to see it grow. So like we talked about the Jeff Hardy stuff.
Yes.
That's another thing, right? That was before the game save borked.
Mm.
So I have Hardy now. And I paid him $100,000 a month. Why? Because I have the money.
Right.
Because
I can, bitch.
Yeah, because I can. So yeah, I'm not going to talk. Well, we can talk about all the other stuff that I did after when we do the next update. Obviously, I could probably not touch this game for a month till our next show, and then pick it back up.
I think we're done. Oh, what size are you now? We can go over that.
Medium.
Company size. Well, I know you're medium, but what's your rating per area? Like your popularity per area?
I just realized I dropped from 3rd to 4th somehow too.
I'm 2nd.
Well, go fuck yourself. Southeast is my highest, still at 78. Every other area, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Every other area, with the exception of Hawaii, is 65. Hawaii is a 55.
See, my highest is Southeast at 74.
Okay.
And this is probably just the difference in broadcasting strategy. Everything else across the board is a 72. Except I'm a 68 in New England. I'm a 60 in Puerto Rico and a 59 in Hawaii.
I think one of the other differences, though, for you, TJ, is you started your show and started traveling, whereas I went all the way until almost November, December before I moved.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it.
Well, another reason why I need to watch the house show loop too is like you'll start doing house shows, you won't pay attention, and then you'll see like the notification that there was a house sale and had so many ticket sales. Like they sold 176 tickets in Germany. From like, wait, what? Why am I going to Germany?
Exactly.
So I think now that we went over that, I think we're good till April.
That'll probably be when we record our next show too.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone an hour. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's what your wife tells me.
Well, I mean, an hour. That you're bragging. What are we doing?
She just says you have sweat dripping off you at an hour.
When I was younger, sure.
Now you're already sleeping an hour.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I've already been at an hour. I've already been asleep for 53 minutes.
Yeah, I'm good if you're good.
All right, we'll see you in April.
Yes! Yes! Yes!